Hey guys, how's it going? My name's the Breph and welcome to another challenge video. Today I'm asking the question, can you beat Pokémon LEAF GREEN with only a SWINUB? SWINUB is a Pokemon with a decent typing but pretty pathetic stats, with its highest being 50 in HP, attack and speed, a base 40 defense and 30 in special attack and special defense. It has a base total of 250, also known as pretty pathetic. The ice and ground combination is pretty bang on, with an immunity to electricity, although its only resistance is poison. Still, it could be alright, assuming that we learn some decent moves. However, by level up, we learn the exact opposite. We don't learn any good physical attacking moves, and to be fair, we don't even learn any stab moves. The best one we get is Blizzard at level 46, although all the way up at level 55, Amnesia could come in handy. I think it's fair to say our best bet for this one is gonna be to rely on that TM pool, which includes some really decent moves like Ice Beam, Earthquake and Dig, although the latter two are only stab ground type moves. So yeah, I don't have any idea how this is going to go. I can't exactly see it being particularly fun or easy, especially not now that I've gone teetotal. That's right, I'm not drinking a single thing, at least until the end of September. And God knows I'm finding it very, very difficult already, and we're only 10 days in. Ah, well, who cares about that? Let's talk about the rules and then we can crack on with the gameplay. As ever, they are straightforward. They are so easy to follow that even my sister can use them as directions. SWINUB only in battle, no items are allowed in said battles, and finally, TM usage is bang on the cards. Right. Now we've said all that needs to be said, shall we jump straight into it? Game begins and we choose the female character, giving ourselves the witty and inventive name of Breph. Hands up if you saw that one coming, eh? We are then also given the chance to name our rival, and we do so bestowing him the name of Jackie. Of course, after channel member Jackie T, who requested this one in the live stream, in the comments, and in Discord. This is your priority challenge request, and I hope I do you proud. Thank you so much for your support. Shameless plug time while I'm here. If you would also like to join the channel, there's a link in the description and a little blue button next to that subscribe button. If that's red, you might want to consider tapping it. Also hitting a like and possibly even slapping that notification bell if you're feeling a little bit naughty. Right, plug over, let's crack on. We try to escape our prison cell that is Pallet Town, only to be dragged back by the warden and given 50 lashes across the backside. By that I mean we are given a SWINUB, and we think long and hard about a nickname for it. I say those words very carefully because this is a pig which produces pork, and it's a male, so the male version of pork is clearly, well, I don't speak Spanish, but I'm fairly sure it's El Dongus. And what with it also being the ice type, and you know what effect the cold has, we give it the nickname of Shrinkage and move on very, very quickly. Move on quickly before Tion's brain catches up and he figures out what I'm talking about. Our Shrinkage and I have the first fight against Jackie, and it is on a knife edge. We so nearly lose this fight, but luckily we do pull through for that nice and easy XP. So at this point I'd like to introduce you to our 1 HM slave for this run, a shiny Growlithe called Redemption. And if you don't know what that's about, well, you haven't been checking out my Nuzlocke streams that I've been doing recently, because somebody told me that I couldn't do it, and so far they've been so correct, but we're persevering. Anyhow, we go up and we collect Oak's mysterious parcel from the person at the shop, bringing it back down to the lab and being rewarded with sweet FA. So we go and get ourselves up to level 10 and take on the optional rival fight. Of course we win. We do still struggle against the Charmander, and that's only going to get harder as the game goes on, and I for one am not looking forward to it. Speaking of hard, ladies, we head over to Brock to take on the rock hard, ironic, I know, gym leader himself. His team consists of a Geodude and an Onix, and both of them are weak to the ice type. And obviously at this point we've learnt Powder Snow, so no prizes for anyone who can guess correctly how this fight went. Apart from you, Mr. Twump, you get yourself a big prize because that's big brain you exercised. With the conclusion of that and the first gym badge well and truly secured in our back pockets, we make our way through to Mount Moon, where of course you know what's coming. We have to choose one of those two fossils. Will it be Dome? Will it be Helix? Will it be Dome? Will it be Helix? It's gonna be Dome because fuck Lord Helix. Thanks to that monumental and game-changing decision, we gain access to Cerulean, and instantly I know we are screwed whichever way we go. Truth is, I didn't realise just how screwed until we actually tried to fight the rival for the first time and promptly got our asses handed to us multiple times. And with that I knew I was in a lot of trouble, because if we can't beat a Charmander, there is no way on earth that we're going to be able to beat a Starmie. See where I'm going with this? We got one option. We got one option alone. It's time to hit those poles. It's grinding time, baby. And oh my god, was there a lot of arse move that day, because there were so many levels needed. This, I thought at least, was excessive. But just to beat that Charmander, man, it was difficult. Even when we reached the level that we beat it at, we still needed several attempts. Fortunately, I believe thanks to crits, I may be wrong, we were able to get through it, and I had my head in my hands. I was so grateful that this fight was over. And with that, we were able to make our way to Bill's house to help him remove his shrinkage from a Clefairy. And enough about that. There were things on that computer that no mere mortal should ever have to look at. Ugh, it's like seeing your grandma naked. Not my grandma naked. I've seen your grandma naked. The reason I chose to do that first was not because there's free and easy EXP all on the route up there, but because once you've done that, the police lady, she moves aside, so you're able to go into the house that's been broken into and subsequently beat the Rocket Grunt, picking up the TM for Dig. Now, I knew I was going to need it before we had any chance to beat Misty, because we just can't tank those water pulses from that Starmie. But thanks to the combination of Secret Power and Dig, we are able to claim the second gym badge, and man, that was one of the biggest roadblocks I think we're ever going to come across. Thank goodness that's done. But it's not over yet. Of course I've got that HM slave, and I thought, well, why not try and get a little bit ahead of myself? Why don't I sort of skip, cheat, do a few things out of order, maybe streamline the process later in the game? So I make my way straight from there to Celadon. I pick up the T, I go into Saffron, and then I head down to take on Lieutenant Surge's gym. But instead of doing that, I figured we may as well do things in the right order while we're there. We head on to the SS Anne, and for some reason, I didn't know this happened at all. This took me completely by surprise. But the rival doesn't spawn. There's no rival fight. We're able to go straight up, rub that captain wherever he asked to be rubbed. I'm staying out of it. Then lean forward, stealing his chair, and whispering to him from across the room, "I'm the captain now." I'm fairly sure it's got everything to do with the fact that we made that step, that trip to Celadon and then to Saffron, but I can't figure out why exactly. If anyone knows the answer, please let me know. I'd be really interested to find out, because it's one of those game breaks that kind of makes no sense to me as to why this rival fight didn't spawn. Hey ho, that's done and there's nothing I can do to stop it. What I can do, however, is try and claim that third badge with honour. When I say with honour, I mean totally legit, no underhanded or cheesy tactics like, say, I don't know, being a high enough level that you outspeed and actually can use Dig to defeat every single thing without taking a point of damage, because that would be, you could get the stakes out and burn me at them for that. And luckily, somehow the Pikachu outspeeds us and gets off a quick attack. I don't know why I said it outspeeds us. And the Raichu doesn't. But it's still a one-shot and the Lieutenant is defeated. Yes, that monologue was a complete and utter shambles. No, I don't care. I haven't got any alcohol in my system. And I've been on edge for about 4 days now. Hashtag Breff's a pleb. Or alcoholic. Say what you want. It's fun. Who cares? Move on. Well, seeing as we've already unlocked Saffron and we've already unlocked Celadon, I figured it may as well be kind of straightforward to go in and try and challenge Erica. What a massive mistake that was. We are weak to grass and it is showing big time. A little bit more than our shrinkage thanks to that ice type. But we lose, and we lose consistently. I lost 4 times out of 4, and that's when I gave up and said, you know what, screw it. Let's go down into the Rocket Game corner. Let's tackle Giovanni. Let's proceed with some other aspects of the game. So that's exactly what I do, heading down to take on Giovanni as I just said. Now his team is exactly 0 threat to me, at least on paper that's what I thought. In practice he took me down to a little bit lower health than I thought he would. I guess we're at the point where SWINUB's stats are really showing how poor they are. And let me tell you, they are performing like they're poor. But needless to say, eventually we defeat him, we claim the Sylph Scope and we head into the tower where we have to fight the rival again. Now our levels are ridiculous. So ridiculous. Overly ridiculous in fact. And it's a complete one-shot sweep, I believe. Or at least close enough to being that he didn't trouble us at all. And we're allowed to proceed up to the top to rescue Mr. Fuji. Now Mr. Fuji rewards us really generously by giving us the Poke Flute. That means we can head down to tackle that Snorlax and knock it the hell out of here, sending it back to whence it came. And making our way down to Koga's gym. Now Koga is a problem, he's a big problem because he has coughing and he has wheezing and they have the levitate ability, meaning Dig is going to do nothing against him. So we are in an awful situation where we're too weak to be able to beat him despite resisting poison. We're scuppered for our ground type moves because they're not going to do anything and we don't have access to a psychic type move. We have to go and grind, and we grind, and we grind, and we grind. We grind our little pork chop up to a ridiculous level, even by my standards, man. This is ridiculous. But we have to do it. We do it, and after so many godforsaken attempts, we finally are able to beat Koga, but it has come at quite a cost to my mental health because SWINUB is just useless. Okay, maybe calling him useless is a little bit harsh on the guy. I mean, he'd make a fantastic slipper for a child, but just one slipper. There's not enough to him to make a pair. He's absolutely useless. What am I saying? Now I know we've unlocked the ability to surf at this point, but even I'm sat there knowing we don't stand a chance against Blaine. And we really do not stand a chance against Blaine. So at this point I decided to go back to take on Erica because I completely forgot her and we've over-leveled to shit. And going back there, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. We defeat her with undue ease. And yes, we did upgrade to Ice Beam because it's just more reliable than Blizzard and more powerful than Powder Snow. So that's going to be a crucial move. As actually speaking is Amnesia, and we learn this by going to take on the rival fight. Now we died several times at the level that we walked in. And we take the opportunity with all of the free EXP available to us in the Sylph Company building to do it all, leveling up an awful amount and then coming back. Now, it still took me a couple of attempts, but I learnt from them, and I think that was the key thing. It doesn't matter how many times you fail if you learn from the process. Now, I learnt that on the Pidgeot, it's good to set up at least 2, if not 3 Amnesias, because we cannot tank a single flamethrower from Charizard or Blast Burn, whatever it uses, We can't tank it, it's a one shot from full health, no crit. Amnesia of course solves that problem and we're able to defeat the Charizard, which ultimately means we are eventually able to beat our rival. Let me tell you, this fight was bad. Tell you what was also surprisingly bad, it was the fight with Giovanni straight after it, and I think that was mainly because we got afflicted by Poison Point. We were able to defeat his team relatively being the operative word, relatively easily, but that poison damage takes us down to a scary health. Fortunately though, beating that fight means we are able to claim the Master Ball from the Director, and you know what time it is, but you just have to wait for that. Because first we have to tackle Sabrina, the Psychic type gym, and we beat her first time. Surprise, surprise. She makes a very poor decision into switching in her Venomoth on a dig, and well, we all know how that one turned out. Fortunately enough, from there, she was just simple to defeat. You just have to knock everything out with a strong physical type move. They're psychic types. They're not exactly known for physical defense. Well, now we have the big one. It's time we have to face Blaine. There's nothing else we can do but bite the bullet and hope to God. Now, if there was ever a point in the game where I wanted beer, or cider, or wine, or vodka, tequila, sambuca, whiskey, scotch, bourbon, whatever you want to call it, it was here. But I held firm. I did not drink a single drop and I persevered through the pain. It became evident pretty early on that we were going to need more levels, and it also became pretty evident that actually Amnesia was our best friend. We needed that move. That move came in clutch. Because we set up 2 on the Growlithe and we're lucky enough to avoid the Blast Burn, we do have enough HP left for the time that we get to the Arcanine. On the first time we beat this though, I, well, lose my mind because we get roared, which brings out our HM Slave, and although we instantly swap back into it, it's undone the damage of the 2 Intimidates, and I just wasn't happy with it. So I reset and I went again and I did it all perfectly this time, and we were able to defeat him twice on the bounce. So it was just that one-off time that he brought in my HM Slave, and oh my god did I dodge a bullet. I could have been there for many hours trying to recreate that run. But at this point I've realised that I've missed something, because many of you are probably wondering what I do with that Master Ball. Well, actually what happened was, on the way down to Cinnabar in the first place before we beat Jim, I caught myself a Tentacool with it, giving it the nickname of Fuck Tion. Because, and I apologise everyone, fuck Tion. I'm joking. Give him a follow. He's a big man. He's a good man. Gorgeous man. Bit shit on the banter on Twitter though, but we'll improve that over time. That's how I wasted the Master Ball this time, and I hope Tion in particular can forgive me. If he doesn't, he'll probably try and say something on Twitter, but as I said, he's a bit weak in that regards. We'll get him up there one day. Oh, that's my career over. But you know what? Why not finish the challenge before it's over? We got nothing else to do but go and take on Giovanni, and I prepare for this one by defeating some available trainers to me, and I level myself up to, well, it doesn't need explaining. You know what to say about that. What you probably don't know is that it was a piss easy one-shot sweep with Ice Beam. We just completely destroyed the ground type gym, and there's really nothing else to say, apart from the fact that beating it gives us the TM for Earthquake, thus completing our moveset. But it doesn't complete the game, because we've got to fight the rival yet again, and for the last time as our rival. Jackie has come well and truly prepared, because that Charizard is now even stronger, even speedier, and things are not getting easier at all. In fact, they're getting so much harder that I have to go and, well, I have to do some consideration here. It turned out that, technically speaking, Amnesia again was going to be our best friend. Now it's starting to sound a little bit cheap to me, but I'll take what I can get. It's about setting up correctly, it's about hoping for the best, and it's about getting good results. But I know one thing's for sure. We are not going to be able to take on the Elite Four at this level. We got lucky beating our rival. And it's off to the grind we go, getting ourselves all the way up to level 75 before we even consider taking on Lorelei. Lorelei took me a grand total of 2 attempts to beat. That's straightforward. It couldn't have been easier, but it could have been a one turn victory. But no, alas, I needed to learn how many amnesias to set up and when, and it turned out that just full throttling it was kind of easy when it hit the cloister, because it tended to use spikes and protect stall against something that wasn't coming. So setting up was the easiest part, and then it was just go gung-ho and defeat everything in your wake, although only just. Bruno, although a lot easier than Lorelei on the whole, took me a lot longer and a lot more attempts because of that one move on that one Pokemon Machamp called Cross Chop. Every single time that seemed to hit, and when it did, well, it was all over. It's one shot from full health, it doesn't even need to be a crit. But instead of leveling, I knew all I needed was for Cross Chop to miss, but in the end, we got a critical hit that was 100% needed, as you could tell from hopefully the footage that I've put on screen. I don't know. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, I haven't been to sleep yet. Cut me some slack. Because I'm telling you now, Agatha did not cut me any. Agatha, in fact, was impossible at the level we were at. We needed to voluntarily fail. We needed to go back through the Elite Four. We needed to grind up some more levels. And that's exactly what we did, coming back, and on the 3rd time of asking for having done that, we beat her. Fortunately, and only just. But it is beating her, and that means we can move on to Lance now. He's a dragon type user. We have stab ice beam, even though our special attack is crappy. Do I need to say any more? Because I don't think I do. We beat Lance with a single ice beam on every single one of his Pokemon. But then it gets interesting, because this fight against the champion took far longer than I thought it had any right to. The progression of rival fights clearly showed the pattern of each time I was facing one I had to go and level up. But I thought I'd done that for the Elite Four. I thought I'd be okay. Turned out the answer to that was hell no. I underestimated this opponent. The issue wasn't the Pidgeot, it wasn't even the Exeggutor, it wasn't even the Charizard this time, at this point, because we couldn't even get to it. That bloody Gyarados took far too long. For one, it seemed like Hydro Pump was just insanely accurate, and even when it did do stupid things like, I don't know, set up a rain dance properly to get knocked out and then have me go and fight the Charizard, we had low enough health that a single slash would take us out. So really, what I have to say here is that fuck this fight, fuck this rival, fuck this game, fuck stupid fight. I cannot believe how fucking annoying this is. We had to approach the level cap way too close for comfort. We didn't hit it, but my god was I scared at one point that we were going to have to. Just for this one fight. We'd beaten everything else within a reasonable enough level for the Pokemon that we're using. But this one fight proved just impossibly difficult. Fortunately, and there is an upside, there is a silver lining to this cloud, we are eventually able to do it. And my god, I sat there with my arms up in the air for about 30 seconds and it was so easy. So easy to relax after doing this, because that is another challenge completed, and I don't allow it to evolve this time because Shrinkage didn't deserve it. Pathetic thing. Anyway, it takes its place in the Hall of Fame, along with what is unfortunately going to be my only golden Growlithe that ever makes it to the Elite Four Hall of Fame. But at the start of this challenge, I asked a simple question. Can you beat Pokemon Leaf Green with only a SWINUB? I'll try that again. Can you beat Pokemon Leaf Green with only a SWINUB? And the answer is yes. And this one is one of those single Pokemon challenges where actually the answer was a little bit unknown even to me. Because that base stat total was pathetic to say the least. And this Pokemon's moveset is pathetic to say the least. And its TM move pool, although decent at times, is overall pathetic to say the least. So if I had to sum up this Pokemon in one word, it would be surprising. Because although all of the signs point to it being pathetic, and right towards the end it was fairly balanced actually. It wasn't easy, it wasn't sweepy, there was a lot of grinding involved, but it was consistent. After every major fight, there was a spree where I needed to level up. Maybe bar Lieutenant Surge. And that was a nice change of pace. It left me knowing what was coming, but questioning how far was enough, how far was too far, how far was not enough. It was a really good challenge actually. I would definitely recommend giving it a go. And if you're feeling braver than I am, maybe even restricting yourself to no TMs. Although I genuinely do believe that to be impossible. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Your time is so greatly appreciated as ever. Huge thank you to the channel members that you see here, especially for this one, Jackie T. Thank you so much for this suggestion. It was an awful lot of fun to see how it worked, even if it was kind of tedious. Well, tedious is something I do well, and that's why you've been sat here for 27 minutes so far. But anyway, again, thank you all so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you've all enjoyed the video, and everyone, I would love it if you could stay safe. Join that Discord that I've got going on down below if you haven't already. And I look forward to seeing all of you, and hopefully some more, in the next one.